I lost my first job in Los Angeles for turning a little boy gay. Hi, and welcome back, you beautiful nerds, to another edition of a video. A very special video, because today I have got a very special guest with us. It's Derek! Wow, he's voguing, he's here, he's with us. And today we are going to share a very special story time. Why are we doing story times on this channel now? Well, let me tell you. Story times are a very popular trend on TikTok. You know, your girl loves TikTok.
How big can you frown? This is how big I can frown. Okay, show me your frown.
I also want to test out storytime videos on the Year of the Goddess theme, because when I have been at my messiest, all I really wanted was to see videos from people that I loved and respected telling me about the times where they thought they were not going to make it. Social media in general is a highlight reel, and I think some storytime videos about the chaos that is our life can help perpetuate this more nuanced look of what a goddess in 2022 looks like. Because we're out here. We're successful people. We're hot, rich, in LA.
I know.
Instead of bringing you a highlight reel today, I want to bring you some chaos. Trigger warning, I'm about to tell a story about my life that includes some instances and anecdotes of racial disparity, which I'm very upset about, but it's the truth. And also just class divide. Also, this story has to do with homophobia a little bit. There's shades of homophobia sprinkled without. If these are themes that may be bothering you right now, if you feel like in your soul, you're like, I don't want to hear this. I understand. Protect yourself. This is just what happened to me and what I witnessed. Oh, Derek, what am I doing today?
I want to hear about one of your first jobs in Los Angeles.
Okay, Derek, what was your first job in LA?
Back in 2016, I was a fundraiser for the Muscular Dystrophy Association.
Well, that sounds really
It was like a grown-up job.
You see, that's really good work. That's the Lord's work, one might say.
I'm just a really good person.
Wow. Well, my first job in Los Angeles was not at, well, it was still service-based.
Yeah, okay.
I was a weekend nanny, a concept I hadn't heard of until I moved to Los Angeles. Context, I'm a good bitch from the South. Women usually, especially if they're from very conservative areas, are socialized to take care of kids very early, and that was my experience, for sure. So I had nannied a lot in college and back home in Georgia for a long time. So when I first came to LA, I was like, let me do what I'm good at. I am a starving actor, so let me go ahead and hit up something else I didn't know existed until I moved into LA. A nanny agency. So I got a job with one of the wealthiest families in Los Angeles. And I remember going to this job and the kids and I were playing in their backyard. It was a beautiful mansion in Beverly Hills.
Old money Hollywood.
Old money Hollywood. And in fact, you want to talk about generational wealth? I wasn't even nannying for like the big patriarch of the family. The money had trickled down to his grandkids and I was their nanny. Let me just walk you through what my experience was, because this was all so new for me. 8 a.m. on Saturday morning, I would drive over to their house and I would play with the kids and do their things, serve their food, serve the dinner from 8 a.m. on Saturday morning to 8 p.m. on Sunday night. And I would sleep over on Saturday night in this little room that was adjacent to the kitchen.
So you were like a stowaway, kind of.
Yeah. I was Harry Potter, just living underneath the stairs. By the way, this house was busy. Let me talk to you about all the staff in the house, okay? Staff. So they had 3 household maids who were there, and they didn't sleep over at night, but they were there on Saturdays and Sundays. And the thing about these women who worked on the weekends is that they were all named Teresa. And the first couple of weeks, I thought that was a coincidence. I'm assuming they were all Latina. I didn't ask, but they presented Latina. So they had a yoga instructor. They also had a personal assistant who came to the house sometimes over the weekend. So the house was busy.
Did you ever take them out to do things, or were you always in the house with them?
I had a car. It was a little It was really nice. I dropped my little Toyota Corolla outside of their house. They wouldn't let me drive in the driveway.
They said, we don't want your car here. You gotta park 2 blocks away.
So I had the white Land Rover that I would drive during the weekend to take the kids to like their golf lessons and their tennis lessons and stuff. It was crazy. Let's talk about how much money I made. I made $36 an hour and they paid me for the full 48 hours. It wasn't a flat rate over the weekend. It was perfect for a struggling actress. $36 an hour in 2012 is about $48 an hour now. In 2022.
I'm gonna throw up.
I know. I mean, the kids were wonderful. At the time, they were 6 and 9. There was the oldest boy and then the youngest girl. They did like what siblings do. Sometimes they were arguing, sometimes they would be fine together. Just like normal kids. So I made sure that I took them outside a lot. They had this incredible play center in their backyard. So we were constantly inventing games on that play structure. Oh, lots of Legos. Lots and lots of Legos. In fact, when you went to the oldest boy's room, on the side of the wall was just like this clear bookcase, almost like when you go into a candy shop. It was like that, but for Legos. I remember at one point, I really built some trust with the family because they double paid me one week. And I came and I returned the check.
Was that a test?
I don't know if it was a test, but I remember the mother being like, wow, you're so honest, and then ripping the check up in front of my face.
That just seems like a epitome wealth of like, oh, good for you.
Yeah. So it went pretty well. Life was good until one week where I got a call from the week nanny, again, Sarah, God bless. She told me to come in on a Friday. I immediately noticed that the house is really busy. And Sarah came in and she was like, you need to leave. We're all in the back house. And I arrived in the back house and I noticed that we're like 30 people there. Like all of the Teresas, all of the gardeners, the hairstylists, the personal assistants, the yoga instructors, the personal trainers, myself, the week nannies, everyone was there. And I had no idea this household had 30 members of staff. No one talked. And we were there for a long time. The temperature in the room got a lot more hairy as time passed. Finally, someone came back into the house, someone who I never met before, came in the house and asked for the yoga instructor dude to come back into the house and like one other man who I'd never met to come back into the house. And they were gone for about 45 minutes and then they came back and they were the ones who delivered the news. If you're not sitting, you should sit, because now we're gonna start venturing into the messy part of the story as to how I lost this job. The yoga instructor man, who by the way was so arrogant, I remember stood there and was like, this. Okay everyone, so here's what's going on. He had told us the news that the oldest boy, the 9-year-old boy, had gotten in trouble in school. They flew in a child psychiatrist from Manhattan.
Because there are no child psychiatrists in Los Angeles.
No, not the ones that they needed.
Of course not.
What the oldest son had done, again, let me just remind you, a 9-year-old boy, he started drawing like army men. Along with those army men were guns, pictures of guns. Now, to someone who grew up in the South, this is not abnormal. Honestly, and I saw the drawings, it looked like a space gun. I'll never forget.
Marvin the Martian, like.
Yes! It had like circles instead of like a barrel of the, yeah, it looked like a space gun.
Like a bubble ray.
Like it looked like a bubble ray. And they said that he had gotten in big trouble from his school. Sure. That's why they flew out the child psychiatrist, and the child psychiatrist was with the oldest boy for all of that time, basically talking to him and diagnosing him with this, that, and the other thing. They had concluded that this 9-year-old boy who was drawing space guns, that was a clear symptom of gay. Derek.
I mean, I guess maybe over the course of 4 hours, I'm sure there's a lot of conversation that would happen, but...
Over the course of 4 hours, you can make me gay. Like if you're talking to me. And they had decided that this 9-year-old boy needed more male influences. All of the female staff in the house was fired.
As a gay.
What? Wait, what?
This is my coming out video, surprise. It doesn't work like that.
They like pointed me out. They were like, they have an issue, Devin, with the fact that you're listening to pop music. It's giving them bad thoughts and blah, blah, blah. And this is just kind of why we have decided to let all the female staff go. And I lost that job and remained unemployed for a while. I often think about like ridiculous situations at work. I always think about that first job I had in Los Angeles that ended abruptly for ridiculous reasons. I lost my first job in Los Angeles for turning a little boy gay. Maybe that is the takeaway. And if it was me, I think I was doing the Lord's work. If you happen upon this piece of content when you are in a messy moment in your life, just know that it gets better and we've all fucking been there. Thank you so much, you beautiful nerds. Cheers! Cheers! And we will see you next week.